Okay, here we are again, September 6th, 2010, and Stan has just arrived in China. Where did you first go when you got there?
Guilin.
Guilin.
That was the Paris of China at that time. Very beautiful city. And we worked out of there for a while. And then they sent us down to Yunnan.
Put your hand.
And we got a little more experienced doing low-level bombing. And then we went into Kunming. And Kunming, they were starting to trying to split the outfit up into different bomb groups. And I think, as I recall, we became part of the first bomb group. I can't remember everything. And we did a lot of bombing over the China Sea, looking for Jap subs, for troops. And when you get up about 400 or 500 feet, you actually can see down pretty good. It's pretty clear. And Norm likes the one about when we went to a place we call Hell's Alley, which what it was. The Japs had smelting plants there, ball bearing. They had an aluminum factory over in Manchuria. Manchuria had a lot of raw material. And we had come back one time kind of beat up, and we tried to get into Kunming, but they were loaded with ATC and we just couldn't get in line. So they told us to go down again to Yunnan, which we did. And as I was the radio operator, I was calling the tower and telling them we're coming in. And then, I would say about 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles out, we were getting ready to go into our landing position. The pilot informed me we were dead stick. Dead stick means no gas. And so we were kind of like floating around down up there. And then we noticed we had a plane in front of us, an ATC plane. Yunnan only had one airstrip at that time. And he went in and we went in, and one of the landing gears didn't hold up, so we skidded and stopped, and he stopped, and we stopped about 25 feet behind him.
Wow.
And I got out of I couldn't get out through the bottom of the ship because that was flat. I kicked the dorsal off, which is the top turret, and got out, ran over, and the pilot and the co-pilot were there, and also one of the crew members, and I said, everybody all right? He says, yeah. And he said to me, are you all right? I said, yeah, I guess so. I said, I think everybody's all right on our end. I says, what are you carrying in this thing? He said, 100 octane.
Oh.
So I kind of stopped a bit. And, his name happened to be Jack Ferdinand. And later on, I went by, I didn't know who it was, it never entered my mind. And I went to see him. He had a place out in Arvin. He was a crop duster. And I went to sell him insurance, which I did, but then when I went there, he said, I think I know you. I said, I don't think I've ever seen you before, because I've seen him with a hat, and he was then, I think it was a First Louis. And he said, you in World War II? I said, yeah. He said, where were you? I said, well, mainly in China. He said, what'd you do there? And I told him, and he said, oh. He said, you ever been in Yunnan? I said, oh, yeah. I said, we were stationed there for a while. He said, did you ever get involved with a DC-3? I said, what do you mean involved? I said, we never had an accident with one. He said, no, I was coming in and this 25 came in behind me. And he said that when the top turret gunner got out, and he says, was that you? I said, yeah, it was me, Mr. Lieutenant Ferdinand. He said, no. And then we went over to the bar and had a couple of drinks, and then I sold him some life insurance. But Jack died a few years ago. His widow, she's a wonderful lady. He lived on Camino Primavera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marguerite.
Marguerite. Lovely lady. Lovely lady. Jack had a aneurysm. I think he had one of the arteries that go to the brain. And he lasted a while, but then he passed on. Now that's about what China was all about. Because the first time we went into the ready room to go on a mission, the A2 officer, which is operations, said, one thing you should understand here, no prisoners. You kill them. And that's all he told us. And he also told us to keep a bullet for yourself if you ever get shot down in court. Kill yourself because you don't want to go through what they'll do to you. And that was that. And we knew the rules, and that's the rules we played.
Wow.
That's what we did. That was the rules. I found out later why, but I won't go into why they did that.
So you said you flew over the hump. What were you doing
Well,
on those missions?
I flew over the hump. I had no mission. I was being troops. They flew us into first into Kunming and then into Kualin. And we came from Calcutta, actually.
Oh, so you came over that way.
Yeah. That's how I came.
Any other stories you can think of?
Not that I really want to tell you.
What about the train ride?
Oh.
Train ride.
Well, we had a train ride. Oh, that's a train ride. Oh, God. From Bombay to Calcutta. That is an experience that one should not have to do. Number one, no windows. There's no windows on the train. Number two, no bathrooms. They had two little holes, and that's what you did.
In the floor.
Number
In the floor of
three-
the train?
Yeah, on the train.
Okay.
And you go at night and you're going through the jungle. And for one who's never been through a jungle, and none of us were, we were sitting there with our guns in hand because we didn't know what was going to happen. And that's the way it was. And we rode through that night. And of course we drank water from the canteen and had some K rations to chew on, but most of us chewed on the hardtack and you couldn't chew on the chocolate. That was so bitter. I guess it had a lot of vitamins in it or whatever it had in it, but none of us did it. And then when we got to Calcutta in the morning, we went to the field, and there we got washed. And washing, of course, like anything else, you got 2 minutes of hot water and 2 minutes of cold water to wash yourself off. That's what you got.
4 minutes.
That's it.
Alrighty. Well, I'm sure there'll be other stories we think of later, but we'll conclude this video with the train ride story.